Hi, everyone. My name is Helena.
And I'm Kelly.
We are Speaker Insight, where we help speakers, authors, and coaches to build a business on your terms. And actually, it was a little bit confusing to try and actually say who we are and how that actually works because we've been very busy doing a challenge over the last little while. But because this is a regular Tuesday slot, here we are. And I'm going to invite you to have a little think about the buzz in your business. So, whilst you're doing that, I will tell you ours in a moment. So, the buzz in your business, whilst you're all arriving, do tell us what's going on for you. Some of you may still be full of, I'm still doing catch up on the challenge that was actually happening. But what's exciting? What's actually intriguing you? What have you got coming up? What have you won? And speaking of winning, Kelly, what have you won?
Oh, it was lovely on, what was it, International Women's Day? God, it was only last week. It feels like it was
Yeah.
about a month ago that Motivate magazine acknowledged that I was one of the inspirational women of 2021.
Which is really rather amazing. And congratulations to you, which is just and so well deserved as well. We, of course, the buzz in our business is we are celebrating the milestone of the Connection Hub, this wonderful group, which if you're not in it, if you're watching on the Speaker Insight page and you're not inside the Connection Hub, then please, 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 Kelly's going to, she's already popped a link in. This group hit 10,000 wonderful speakers, authors, and coaches all gathering to connect with each other and with people who actually look after speakers, authors, and coaches. But we'll talk more about that in a minute. And of course, we announced the winners of our Grow Your Group Challenge yesterday. So we are like a little bit full of just amazement and delight at how many of you are really putting a focus on a Facebook group as a key part of your business. You may not have been thinking that before last week, but many, many of you have actually gone, hang on a minute, I've been missing a trick here. In fact, one person went so far as to actually change the whole of their marketing strategy by putting Facebook group right at the heart of everything. So we're really still buzzing, really very much still buzzing after running the Grow Your Group Challenge last week. And we are definitely blown away by just the confidence that all of you are showing, or many of you are showing, to either start your group or grow your group and design the content strategies that are actually going to really allow you to be in there without being burned out or caught up in all sorts of ways. And just, yeah, all the learning and the sharing that you did around increasing membership, sharing what works for you, but also putting into place what Kelly and I have been doing to get this group to 10,000 with no ad spend. We hasten to add. So if you were part of the challenge, obviously say hi and let us know in the comments. I can see Elizabeth's here. She definitely kind of popped in there. Jacqueline's also saying she's celebrating her amazing win of the Deliver Digitally program while she sits here rewording the key messages for her coaching business. So you're all busy and buzzing. Now, here's the thing. Facebook has got 1.7, I'm going to slow this down. Facebook has got 1.73 billion daily users. So they are here. People are here and they are using it daily, whether it's for personal or business reasons or indeed jointly. They are here available for you to capture their attention and really bring them into a group that you, as the host of the party, which is what we call it, can actively hold space for, nurture them, support them, and really just also at the same time, whilst you're giving that nurture and support, you're also then positioning yourself as an expert in that key area of interest that's right for them. Having a Facebook group is a key to absolutely growing your business, which is why we're going to focus on talking to you a little bit about that today.
Yeah, and well done, Elizabeth, for going live daily. I've seen some of your lives; they're awesome. So keep it up because I know you're going to grow a massively engaged group. But just as Helena was saying about the amount of users that are on Facebook, it's not just the fact that there are so many users on there. It's the fact that it's a habit. It's a routine. Facebook is something that is quite habitual for people just to turn their phone on and check many times. If you're looking at your screen time and how much you spend on there, you might be a bit shocked. And so what we want you to do is we want you to tap into that. It's not that they have to think about going to another platform to connect with you. They're using it daily. So it's your job to interact, to connect, to capture and to interrupt them with whatever they're using Facebook for in their time. And so that's why when we set the business up a few years back, we realized that our avatar was definitely on Facebook
For
and
sure.
it was one of their primary platforms, and it was ours too. And so we decided that the Facebook group would be basically all roads lead to Rome and all roads lead to the connection hub for us. Wherever you see us, we direct people to the hub. And that's how we've grown it to over 10,000 people with no ad spend. And the most important part of that is not the size of our group, but the engagement in our group, which we'll come on to talk about a little bit later. So when we speak to our clients and we say, okay, so is Facebook an option for you? Would you set up a group yourself? Because you've got this captive audience, you've got this opportunity. Why are you not setting your group up? And the feedback that we get all the time is the fact that, oh, I just don't know. I don't know what to call it. And I wouldn't have an understanding of what I would theme it around. What would the group be about, right?
Mm.
It would also be, I don't know, we had this in the challenge, I think I might run out of content. I don't know if I've got enough to say. And I don't know how to do the content that makes it engaging rather than me posting all the time and there's just tumbleweed moments and no one responding. So people don't want that fact that they're not getting any interaction with people and they're feeling pressure to create all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know about lead generation. People don't know how to grow the group with your ideal clients rather than just getting loads of people in that are bots and spammers and all that type of stuff. Grow it with authentic people that love you and are raving fans. And then the last thing, which we hear all the time, we completely hear you on this one, is that I've got a business to run as a speaker, author, or coach, right? I haven't got the time to manage a group. I don't want it to take over my life. I also want, maybe when we come out of COVID, I want a social life, right? So therefore, I don't want to feel like I've got this heavy responsibility of having to be in my group all the time. And so in this live, we're going to address those 4 key main concerns. I know many of you that were on the Grow Your Group Challenge with us last week have got yourself out of your own way and you started to do this. But with people that weren't part of the challenge, we wanted to make sure we did this live to really summarize the learnings, to give you the insight of how we've done it and how we've made it not only a size of over 10,000 people, an engagement of 82%, but also the fact that Helena and I work on this business 1 to 2 days a week, right?
Yeah.
So it's not taking over our lives. So that's what we're going to work out, how a Facebook group can work for you on your terms.
And we want you to really be thinking about that. I am actually just going to say this first, though. Yeah, there it is. Right. So the reason Kelly's laughing is because Tara Rose has just actually said, my most engaging post in a sexuality group has been about avocados. Who would have thought it? I know this because I actually also responded and engaged with said post.
Was that the post that said, don't eat me, don't eat me, don't eat me, I'm ripe, and then it's too late? Was it that one?
That's the one. That's the one. It's like, oh man, you missed the moment. It's there.
So this is an example, Tara. I'm in Tara's group. I joined it during the challenge and I laughed my head off at that post. However, I'm a lurker. So I didn't comment, I didn't like, but I found it hilariously funny. Just a side note for you to know that a lot of people are looking at your stuff and you will never know that they've watched it, liked it, enjoyed it, right? They're lurkers, and the majority of your group will be lurkers no matter what group you're running.
And I, on the other hand, was the person that sat here, also did what Kelly did, actually nearly spluttered my tea at the laptop, which was entertaining in itself. But I was the one that said, yeah, and pears do that too. Like this is, so it's about, is it things that are shaped like avocados and pears that actually have this quality?
And how funny is that? Because that really shows our personality styles. I'm a complete introvert. And Helena's more of an ambivert, right? So she would comment and have that engagement. I wouldn't. I'll just laugh about it and move on. So this is, again, another thing that we talk about a lot, is about the engagement and the lurkers. And don't get disheartened that people aren't commenting on everything. But thanks for
now
prime opportunity, Tara, for a teaching.
Exactly. So thank you so much. And also congratulations again on being one of the winners, which is also really good. Which is great. Now, so what we want to do is we want to get, so you might actually now feel sad that you've missed out on the challenge. Don't worry, I'm sure we'll run it again at some point. But
actually,
if
for the next they're all going to be the announcement posts. Yeah, so
Exactly.
you won't get our input and you won't win prizes like these guys did, but you can still go back and watch the challenge and all the announcements posts for the next week.
Yes. And if you are watching this 6 months, 12 months down the line, do a hashtag replay, because we do like a little bit of that. If you're watching this like in 12 hours time, do a hashtag replay, because we still want to know what the buzz in your business is, etc. But the point here is that we want to just do an overarching summary of what we shared with some of these guys who've been playing full out, because actually we're being very serious when we say, if a Facebook group isn't part of your strategy for growing your business as a speaker, author, or coach, we would ask you to question that. We would ask you to at least really have a good reason for not doing so, and or for at least thinking it through. So we're going to bust a couple of myths and just do a high level summary. And the very first thing that we want to absolutely highlight, and many of the guys definitely understood this at the start of last week. One of the first myths we like to bust around this is around your naming, the name of the group. If you have a free group that is open to new members, like the Connection Hub is, then the purpose of the group is to support your audience with the problem or the aspiration, the thing that they're looking towards, that getting them, that unites all of them. That is the purpose of the group. And that is the reason that you need to name your group for that purpose, not your brand name, not your own name, because really, truly, they don't care about that.
They
They
don't even
care
know
about
you, do they? At the early stage of the
exactly.
journey, they've never heard of you or your brand. So why would they decide to even explore that group if it's called whatever made up name? It means nothing to them.
That's exactly it. So the whole point here is that your avatar is looking for some kind of keyword or the solution that they are looking for. So rather than having a group, so I'm just going to do a random example here. So rather than having a group based on a brand name like Nutri Green, we would really kind of call the group that goes along with that. We would take it wider. We would invite you to always take it wider and actually call it something like healthy weight loss with green smoothies, because that's something that is going to be front of my mind, either healthy, either weight loss, or indeed I'm looking for green smoothies because I've heard that those are actually the thing that might actually help me in this. So they're looking for those things. Ideally, you really want your group to be Ronseal does what it says on the tin kind of thing. You want it to be so clear that people go, well, that sounds like something I would like, or that sounds like exactly the thing I've been looking for. Let me check that out. They need to create intrigue. They need to generate some kind of curiosity, or indeed create a little bit of, and Tara's group is a little bit like this. I think I resisted for about 4 days. Kelly went straight in, which is very unusual and kind of the opposite for us, really. But for us, it might create some kind of FOMO, some kind of fear of missing out. So have a think about your name and what it is that you are using to attract your avatar in. Now, for us, when
And
we
just
go
on that,
on,
it's going to read Helen's before it goes up,
oh,
right? So
sure, sure, sure.
I wasn't able to continue the challenge live last week, but spent yesterday and today going through all the videos and the workbooks. She's made a massive change to her group name and description. And as a result of the first video, it feels so much more aligned with what her members are seeking. So do put
Oh,
the link,
Helen, that's
yeah,
perfect.
put the link to the group and tell us what it is in the comments. We'd love to know more about it.
Yes, for sure. And Tara's just
Oh,
asked the same. And in fact, actually, yes, that's exactly what we want. So whilst you're doing that, here's hang on a second. Hold on. Elizabeth says, does the course have a section about how to organize the live or organize the lives like you do? Don't necessarily want them hanging about and disappearing.
yeah, 100%. So one of the things that we did last week is we launched our groups that give and grow course, which I know that a couple of you here have bought. And
Yeah.
in that section, we talk about how we use our lives as bait and fishing bait and helping other people in other groups to come over to our group without breaking rules. And we
Yeah.
also have that directory of our lives in there. So yes, we do. When you get to the content section, Elizabeth, of the course, you'll see that all in there, handheld for you.
Yeah. And Haroon makes a really nice point, which is the name of your group also deters people from entering the group, which is
Yes.
also part of what you want, which is why, interestingly, when we very first set up this group, the Connection Hub, or the group that's associated with Speaker Insight, many speakers, authors, and coaches, what we were really aware of, when we really sat and thought about it, what unites them, and that really is the key here. We know that speakers, authors, and coaches are really quite lonely on their entrepreneurial journey, and they want to also get connections, to the speaker agents, the illustrators, the publishers, the web designers, all the people that can help build the business. So the word connection really links to not only their aspiration, but also their longing. So there's an external and an internal kind of feel around that, which of course, is very yin and yang, very Kelly and I in this way. But the fact that we actually then say the Connection Hub for, that word is very important, for speakers, authors, and coaches, it literally names and labels, calls out our avatar, and creates a little bit of interest that there is a group especially made for them. So, so this is definitely one of the things that's going on. I can see that there's a couple of other people
Sharing
who
this
are saying
stuff.
this
And so what we're saying is, and we do think our group name has been a real big reason why people organically grow our group.
for
Because
sure.
when you're hanging out on Facebook, you're always going to get the suggested groups on the right hand side of things that you should join because you've got friends in common, keywords in common, whatever it might be. And so when your group does, as Helena said, it's a Ron seal, it does what it says on the tin, and people see that, people go, there's a group for speakers, authors, and coaches. I should be in there. What am I missing out
Yeah,
on? Right. And then they see the group description, and the group description says, we share speaking opportunities, we connect you with publishers, we connect, and they're like, whoa, 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 I need to be in this group. What am I missing out on? So this is why we're saying your group name needs to be about your group members' aspirations and pains problems rather than your branded company or personal name,
for
because that's
sure.
not going to attract that organic traffic.
Yeah,
So I know you're all sharing. We've got a lot to get through today, so we will call some of them out.
yeah,
But
yeah,
well done hosting on the buzz in your business. It looks awesome.
yeah. It really does, really does.
So that's the first thing that we're handling: what to name your group, what to
Name.
theme it around. The
and
theme
and
of
Sorry, I was just going to say, and even just something as simple as, so Helen obviously renamed it and just feels a lot more aligned to it herself. And Elizabeth's just actually highlighting that as well. Switching my Facebook name around as it flows when speaking. So even the sound of it when you're saying it, because remember, at some point, you may not only be typing, you might actually be speaking about this, especially when we're allowed back out in the world to do networking in person. You'll be saying it out loud. So that's a good test as well. Sorry, Kelly, off you go.
or even you'll see every single live that we do. Helena introduces us, and she can probably do that in her sleep because we've said it so many times. We've never missed a Facebook live over the last 3 years, so
Yeah,
we know that's trips off our tongue like it is our actual name.
yeah,
So the other thing is that about that group description, because that's the name, but then the theme of what you do it around
yeah,
is stuff that educates people around the aspiration and inspiration. But again, we'll get into content a little bit later, but that's the thing that they will unite them when they understand that the name attracts them. So the second big concern that we spoke about was about thinking that you won't have enough content, or thinking that the group won't be engaged because no one's engaging with the post that you're putting up there.
mm,
And the fact that you'll have to be doing all of the work, you'll be glued to your laptop, having to basically think about new content and put it in there all the time just to keep the group alive, right? So we want to highlight one of the things that shocks people about Helena and I and how we run this business, because remember, we have Speaker Insight as a business. It's one of 4 of my businesses, one of 2 or 3 of Helena's, right? So we only work on this company 1 to 2 days a week.
yeah,
We have this group and it's massively engaged. And that's because we teach something that we do called the 80-20% rule.
yeah.
And this is it's not a new rule that we made up. It's,
Truly, it's not. It's the Pareto principle. You can go and look it up and all sorts, right?
yeah,
But we use it.
we use it for the Facebook group, but we also use it for business generally. We use it for our life. So it's one of those things that is a really good way of actually managing your time and your activities.
Yeah.
So let me debrief what that means.
Yes.
When we put our posts up in the Connection Hub, and remember, we started a couple of years back with a post a day, right, for 5 days. We didn't do anything at the weekend, just to say if we can get that engagement. those posts that go out the same time every week with the same copy, the same memes, are scheduled posts that we use scheduling software for. So our posts are actually scheduled until 2022, right? We keep on adding into them, but and how many, you know this more, how many posts do we have go out across our groups in a week? Is it 60?
72.
72, right? So 72 posts on a regular basis, on a weekly basis, are scheduled and go out across our group. We don't have to think about that, right? We might create new ones, but that just grows and grows and grows. And don't get overwhelmed. It started with 5, right? However, those posts are all encouraging our members to engage. It's not about us putting new content in there. We use our hashtag. So we have our call out hashtag, which is if you're looking for a web designer or a speaker agent or a publisher, or you're looking for someone to help with you as a professional in your business, you use the call out post. You might also have curious Q&A as another one of our hashtags. There's never a silly question to ask. Use that question, and not only we will respond with an answer to the question if we know it, but the group will respond, so you get the wisdom of the whole group that is out there. We also encourage you to do things like share. So we have our Friday feeling post where people are talking about their celebrations and what their learnings and their reflections are. Our most popular one is our opportunity post, where people are posting speaking opportunities, looking for guests for podcasts. So therefore people actually get more raised awareness because they're sharing their, I'll put some speaking gigs in there every once in a while, but I don't know, there's about 700 posts in there at the moment, which are opportunity posts. They're all mainly from our members that are looking for stuff. And also we've got things that encourage people that want a bit more of a banter. So we have our hashtag debate time post, where we put a topic out for people to discuss opinions and their experiences. So there's all these different types of posts with different levels of engagement that require the members to respond, the members to put the content up there. And if you look through our feed, if you're not in the Connection Hub, join, but just look through our feed, you'll see a post from Helena and I, or Speaker Insight. As I say, 20% of the 80% is us. The rest are people in the groups sharing those things. And that means that your members feel that their voices are heard, that they feel part of the community, and that they are valued members because they get to share and contribute. That's what a group should be about. If you look at what Facebook put as their mission statement, it's about creating community. And most people get groups wrong because it's all about them. And I'm the leader, and I'm the expert, and nobody else's voices can be heard, and I'm going to lead this group. And it works, but it doesn't create community, and it puts a lot of pressure on yourself of you having to be the manager of that group all the time, the content creator, the people that everyone relies on. So what we do, that's 80% of the time. But 20% of the time, we are the hosts of the party. We lead that group. We show up live, and we basically put post-ups that are, theming and trending that day. So things that we can't plan and schedule for. So as you'll see right now, every Tuesday at 1 p.m, we go live. We have done for 3 years. And we put that live teach into the Connection Hub. So people are getting valuable content on different subjects, which they vote for all the time. And we're actually showing up as the experts, as the leaders, as the hosts of the party in our group. We also put up their lead magnets, so people can go and deep dive into certain problem areas, and we data capture, so they come into our CRM system, so we're not just relying on a Facebook group. And we'll also share news and articles and things because we're industry professionals. I've got a speaker agency, I've had a publishing house, Helena's a trainer in the corporate space, and that's in the franchising space. So we have knowledge that we can give to you as industry experts. But the point is, we have scheduled our Facebook Lives, and we always do, a quarter in advance, so we know what we're doing every week. It takes very minimal effort for us to show up, do a teach, and basically the rest of the 20% time is engaging the comments that's in the group, right?
And both of those things are actually, if you think about it, they're simple and easy.
Really, and
because because they come from our expertise, they come from the things that we know. So the lives are based around, we never teach anything we don't actually do for ourselves, and we are experts in this space around what we talk about. And when we give opinions, or when we are sharing our views, or our teaching help for any of the comments that are coming in, we're still showing up using the expertise that we have. So there's nothing onerous, there's only everything to draw out of you, which isn't draining. There isn't anything to think up for you, because you are the expert in that space that actively is encouraging and nurturing and supporting people.
100%. And just to bust some myths for you, so Helena and I go into the Connection Hub 3 times a day. We have
Yes,
our set times because we work different hours, and different days of the hours of the day work for us. But we go in and we approve posts, we comment on posts, we approve members, we do all that sort of thing. That's all based on the settings of your Facebook group, the moderation alerts. We haven't got time to teach all that, but we do teach that in the online program. We screenshot how to set your Facebook group up with all the features and the settings, and we also help you understand what you need to do as a moderator to not only make sure that your group is a clean group with no spam and no bots, but
for
also how
sure.
you make an engaged group. Because we know that content is one of the biggest things that hold people back. And so in the course that we've created, the groups that give and grow, we give you content planners, a month's worth of pre-prepared ideas about social media planning. We give you how to get lead generations, how to set your funnels up. We basically help you, inspire you, and give you the research on what type of content converts, what gets the most attention, and also really understanding how to work with the lurkers in your group, that Tara demonstrated perfectly
For
earlier.
sure.
And so I've put the link to the group oh, you have too. Okay, so I've put
Yeah.
the link to the course in the comments.
I popped it in there just because the people in the group couldn't actually see it. So those of you in Speaker Insight Land, and so I'm managing one. So every now and then, if it looks like I'm looking up at something else, it's because I'm looking at the people in the group, just in case they say things, because it doesn't show up here on StreamYard.
Brilliant. And just to highlight, because we opened the course when we were running the challenge last week, and we gave the guys a £50 discount with that promo code Grow Your Group. We have extended it because we've got people that have just said in the comments that are still going through the challenge from last week. And so you've still got access, everyone's got access to that code until tomorrow. That's Wednesday, the 17th of March at midnight. So if you want that hand holding part of setting your group up, not only the setting, the leadership, the content, and the monetizing of your group,
For
we
sure.
handhold you through that whole process, and you can get that discount until tomorrow. So just make sure you're looking at the 80-20 rule for you. I know Haroon's gone, scheduling, I haven't thought about that. So there's these little light bulb moments that go off in everybody, but think about how you can be more constructive with your time, but also encourage your members to actually create most of the content.
Yeah. So, two things down. One of the other big myths, and this I think is one of the key things. Yes, we've grown our group organically to 10,000 people. Do you need to do that before you see success? No, of course not. Of course not. Because here's the thing: the topic of how big should my group be, and do I need to just grow it in this way? That came up a lot. We heard a lot of different commentary around the size of your group during the challenge, and really what we want to say about that is the group is about, the thing that makes it successful is the engagement and the quality of the members that counts much more than the size of it. You could have a group of 5,000 people and there could be tumbleweed everywhere because the wrong people are in there. They don't quite know what's happening. They're not engaging in some way. You could have a group of 200 that's just massively amazing for you, that is a free group, that is actually part of your lead gen, that absolutely does the trick for you. So this is actually all about you knowing of course you want your group to grow over time, because if there's a load of goodness in it, you want more people to actually appreciate that goodness in it, right? We want you to go and be the change makers. We call you change makers. when you are going out and tree shaking and making the world a different place in some way. And most speakers, authors, and coaches in here have some aspirational way that they want to shift or improve lives for people. And your Facebook group is one of the receptacles that you can actually do that in. So it is important for you to know the techniques that absolutely grow your group with your ideal avatar, not these kind of tumbleweedy sort of type things that are going in. So, we have grown this group from inception, the Connection Hub, when we very first set it up, with no ad spend. That wasn't even necessarily an intention. It was just it
It just
started happening
happens.
organically, and we just did what we did and we learned what we did along the way. But really growing the
And
group,
add in that, a lot of people think I can't do what you did because
yeah,
they think we would have thrown loads of money at it, or we had backing of some massive influencer or whatever. None of that, right?
no,
And Facebook allows you to be really transparent. You can go on our page and you can see we've never paid for an ad in our life.
yeah.
So it's one of the things we wanted to reach 10,000 without any ad spend to show you that it could be done.
Yeah. And and actually the decision not to actually spend anything on ads was probably only made at the 9,000 mark, because it's like, well, we got this far. Let's go to 10,000, sort of in this way, as a tiny mini challenge for ourselves in that way. But here's the thing, that growth has really come from three main actions that we've been taking. The first is absolutely essential, and that was really actively identifying our first 150 members and really nurturing them, supporting them, really giving them a whole bunch of attention and including them. And in fact, actually, Helen was just saying this. We included them in what they wanted for the group. Helen
Yeah.
was just saying that she's renamed her group, but she actually asked the members who were in there originally to actually do that. And that's exactly what we're talking about. So that canvassing, that whole back and forth communication. Hey, it's a party. Guess what people do at parties? They talk. They actually share ideas with each other. So we actively paid a lot of attention to those first 150 members. You remember? So during the challenge, Kelly was talking about the Dunbar number, which is the 150 people that we have in our social circle. I won't go into that. You can go and look at
You can
all of
go and
that.
Google Dunbar number.
Day three or something along those lines. Who knows? But here's the thing, those 150 people, because of the attention, because of the nurture that we did, they naturally, not all of them, but naturally fell into becoming our ambassadors, who then continuously and actively refer to their network outside of our group, people that we don't have, 150 people that we don't have access to, but because they loved what they were experiencing, they got value from what they were gaining from in here. It was a natural, obvious step for them to just go, come on in here, because it's really good. So that's the first thing, that as an action, nurture those 150, identify them and actively
Identify
work
them.
with them. Just sitting back and going, right, who would, if I was having a party, who are the people I want in my party? I mean, that's literally how it goes.
Yeah.
And it does get a little bit wedding listy towards the end. It's like, should we have these people or those people? I don't know, right?
But it's important as well that we had this. One of the people in the challenge said, actually, I filled my group with just my friends and they're not my ideal avatar. So we're not saying invite your best friends and your parents and who are probably not your parents at all, but
No,
into your group. We want to make sure that the people that you're identifying are your ideal
ideal.
clients, because they're going to set the culture, they're going to
Yeah,
set the scene of the people that also want to be in that group. So these people are going to be past clients, they're going to be people that you already know, or know, 6 degrees of separation, they know of other people. And it's brilliant to add a couple of influencers in there. Your mentors, your coaches,
yeah,
see if they'll come in there too. Because again, if they've got that interest and they've got that gravitas, this is where it happens. Your 150 people invite their 150 people, and we are evidence to that, right? I think at the
yeah,
moment we've got 10,200 people in the group from today.
yeah,
I know 896 of you, as in not know, but you're friends with me on Facebook, right? So that shows the ratio
yeah,
that we know most of the people that are in the hub. We're not
no,
connected to you. You've
yeah.
been referred, or you found us somehow online and you've joined us. And that's what we want for your group.
Yeah, because the group, it becomes a center for people to gather around. It isn't, and you know, we say this all the time, it's so not about us. It's so not about us. It's about what people get from the group. So the first thing is obviously nurture those 150 like they are your bestest buddies in the world, and they will become that, I promise. The second thing is, whenever your speakers, authors, and coaches, you show up in different places, you go networking. Whenever you show up in those, Haroon
Yes,
is asking if you and I
we
are
are
friends.
friends.
Sorry, I couldn't help but actually just get totally distracted by that. So I'm going to say that again. So when you are doing your speaking, when you're going out in the world, having the call to action, the CTA, the call to action, when you're actually out networking, being the group that you've established. We, whenever we are speaking anywhere, will say, look, come on in and join the Connection Hub, because we know that that's actually the place where we do most of our nurturing, where you can experience us. But also, because you're likely to be a speaker, author, or coach, you are going to really enjoy the connections and the collaboration possibilities, the opportunities, the chance to actually work on your business a little bit in a space that we are holding space for. So for us, it's a natural call to action for anything we do to say, just come on into the Connection Hub. And it's easy because we've created a bespoke URL that is, you know, facebook.com/group/ the Connection Hub, which makes it really easy. And that drives everyone through to your group, from because once they're in your group, then you can start to nurture them in the same way that you nurture everyone else. So that's part of that time saving that Kelly was talking about.
Yeah, definitely.
The third thing is this little genius piece, and Kelly does this very, very, very well. It is showing up in other people's groups and really being visible and valuable in the way that you can be. Setting aside time, actively setting aside time to identify the 5 groups or so that you most want to hang out in, that you know that you can give value in, that have your ideal avatar in them. It allows you to then invite people in to share the things that you have of value. We share constantly these trainings. These 1 p.m. on a Tuesday trainings are available for people to access. In each one of them, we obviously invite people through to come and join the Connection Hub. If you haven't, you've probably heard each of us say that at least twice during this. Repetition is a good thing, by the way, because people dip in and out. So it's always a good thing to say.
And actually, let me just do so that this is what I have as
Yeah,
a post-it note that on my laptop, and you'll see the comment that I've written there, and I'll also put it in the
there you
chat
go.
here as well. That's
Yeah.
what we put. So I put that when Helena's talking about something that we're referring back to the Connection Hub, I say come and join it, and I put the link to the group. So have
Yeah.
these things to hand when you might be, doing a live in somebody else's group, so that you've got that call to action ready to go wherever you're showing up.
That's exactly it. Now, I haven't necessarily copied that into the Connection Hub because you're all in the Connection Hub if you're listening from in there. So it's all good. But you get the idea. There will be some copy paste things that you can actively have available that allow you to show up and give value. So if you know that you have a particular training that happens inside your group, you might actively have something like Kelly just actually put up. But you might also have 1 or 2 things that you share out on a regular basis. You're smiling.
So I was just looking at Jacqueline. I get offended when I recommend it to people when they don't join. Hashtag look at what you could have won.
Oh, that's absolutely brilliant. But this is exactly what we mean. Jacqueline is definitely one of our ambassadors, and it goes to show you what you are doing is working. And so those 3 main actions, which are all things that all of you can do, they don't cost any money, they take a little bit of time, but it is so worth it. You identify those 150 members, you absolutely connect with them and you nurture them. You have your call to action as joining your group. You then also have your visible and valuable. And we share a whole bunch more in this download that Kelly's just actually kind of shared in here. I'll go and share it with you in a second inside the Connection Hub. We do top growth hacks in this free download that you've actually got here. So if you want a few more ways of doing it, have a good look at this. Stay with us for the next little bit, though. Don't go and download it right now, but pick it up in a minute.
Yeah, and those of you that are on the course, that's in there too. So Jacqueline and Elizabeth and stuff, don't go downloading it. You've already got access to that. No more content for you. Okay, so we've done the fact about what do you name and theme your group about. We've done the fact that there's how do you actually create engaging content. We've done the fact about, how does size matter and how do you basically get those lead generations of people coming into your group quite organically, quite effortlessly. And then the final thing is the fact that, oh my God, I don't want to be glued to my group. I've got a business to run. I cannot just basically have the group, which is the activity in a Facebook group is like marketing, right? What?
Sorry, just this one. Haroon said, "What I love about what you're advocating is collaboration. E.g., tomorrow I get to present to 20 to 30,000 teenagers as a result of this approach."
See, loving that, loving those types of results. Thanks for sharing
Beautiful.
and good luck tomorrow.
Sorry.
So, so in the fact that you should have to see your Facebook group as a marketing tool, right? Yes, you're adding value. Yes, you're creating connections. Yes, you're teaching. Yes, you're nurturing. This is what real marketing is. They do all those things. You're just creating your captive audience. So when you're actually posting in a Facebook group, you don't have to fight as heavily against the algorithms, right?
No.
Rather than posting on a Facebook page where it really is pay to play, a Facebook group, you've already got the captive audience. Now, a top tip in this is that Facebook last year, I think, changed the settings of a group where someone joins, there's a notification tab at the top, and they automatically get turned on to highlights only when someone joins the group. You want to regularly be educating your members to change that notification setting to whatever is right for them. I don't think many people in the Connection Hub has it to all posts because their notification will be pinning. We have about 30 posts a day, and that's the post, not the comments. So most people would turn it to highlights on, or to members, or to friends in the group. So you need to educate people to learn about turning the notification setting on so they see more of your posts, mainly from the hosts of the group rather than everybody else. And therefore, your content will be seen a lot more than if you were just posting on a page because you're not fighting against the algorithms.
Yeah.
The point then is when you've got this captive audience, you need to be really clear on your boundaries, right? Your time management. We spoke about it in the challenge last week that actually your group will become quite addictive for you, and you might be sitting there refreshing and scrolling through your group. Actually, you've got to get on with work. You've got to do the paid work, which is why we only go in 3 times a day, because we're like, yes, it's important to keep the group active and engaged and alive, but then we need to go and do what actually makes us money, okay?
Yes.
So it's a marketing activity. The other thing is really important is to understand Facebook's tech, because it changes every bloody week. But also, there are foundational things that you can set up to make sure that your group is moderated, right? Moderation alerts, post-approval type of stuff. The settings that actually help you link your page to your group, all these types of things, which tech is what normally holds people back. And that's why we've done so much of the, not just telling you what to do in the online program, but actually doing our screen sharing of the Connection Hub and showing you where the settings are, showing you what to turn on, what to turn off, explaining the difference between a public group, a private group, a hidden group, a secret group, all these types of things, keywords, as Malcolm's saying, they're so important, but you promise you don't know what you don't know, and Facebook just changes stuff all the time. In the fact that you'll see in the Connection Hub, we've got a section at the top called Guides, which is where we have all of our Facebook Live content. Elizabeth, this is one for you. It's in the training, but this is where you can categorize all of your Facebook Lives into certain themes and sections. That used to be called social learning units only a month ago, and then they changed it to guides, and everyone's going, where have my social learning units gone? So, you've got to keep up to date, and that's why you need people who have spent time. We spent a lot of time putting this online course together so that you don't have to go and work this stuff out for yourself. So in there, when you're making sure that you're working on your times, it's having boundaries, it's making sure your rules work for you and you understand how to use your rules to moderate your group. Set up moderation keyword alerts. We have post approval on. So when we go in those 3 times a day, we'll accept or decline your post depending on if it's breaking the rules or not. That makes it so much easier for us and our admins, rather than going back through the whole feed and trying to work out, should that be removed or not? These are small things that make so much difference to your time. And
And
then
energy.
you couple that with the scheduled posts, you are free to just go in and enjoy your group and comment and engage and be spontaneous rather than thinking, oh my God, I haven't posted for 3 days. What do I
Yeah.
need to do? It just
Uh,
works so
And and
well.
and part of that is they need to feel that you love your group. As soon as you stop engaging with your group, trust me, engagement in your group is going to go down. You need to be in love with what goes on, so you need to set up what goes on in a way that you love it and that they then love it as well. So it needs to be valuable for sure, but actually the energy that you bring to it, the joy, I mean, people were saying, why don't you two do a daily show all the time? We're like, I don't think so, thank you very much, but we
I've gone live for 7 days in a row. I'm bloody knackered.
I wouldn't do that to her, but also we wouldn't do that to the group, because we know that what we can do is show up in the way that we show up, give brilliant value with the time allocation that we've actually thought about and do. So that is a consideration.
Yeah. And so all these tech things are in the online course. So we've got, for example, a comparison guide of all the scheduled software that you could use to schedule your posts, because we're not saying one fits all. It's if you're using Insta and Twitter and what one's best for you and your budget. We've
Yeah.
also got a comparison guide of all the CRM systems, because as I said, we put lead magnets in our group so the people come over from the group into our database and we
Mm.
talk to them via our newsletters and our broadcasts and our nurture sequences. So again, if you haven't got a CRM system in place, there's a comparison guide in there. And we've updated it for those of you who watched our CRM training 2 years ago, because we discovered a beautiful system, which Helena's just put the link in the comments to,
Yeah.
called Group Track CRM,
Yeah.
which is a CRM system that works specifically for Facebook groups. So for those guys who are spending lots of time because you've got those welcome questions when someone comes to the group and then you manually have to import those answers to your CRM system, hey, Group Track CRM does it for you automatically. It integrates with Active Campaign and MailChimp, and it basically can, that's just one thing it can do. It can do so much to understanding the actions of people in your group on Facebook, the tags that they might have, the interest, and import it into your own data system so
For
you can
sure.
work with them on and off your Facebook group. So if nothing else, go and check out Group Track CRM. But
Yeah.
in our comparison guide, we show you how that compares to the other systems out there.
Yeah.
So it will literally save you hours. But all of this tech and setup and screen sharing and features is one of the biggest modules in our online course groups that Give and Grow. So
Yeah.
again, make sure if this is something that you really want to focus on, this is the time. Grab that 50%, £50 discount
Yeah.
by tomorrow.
And the whole thing about this is that we are absolutely keyed into you understanding where this fits into your business. Kelly and I are absolutely set up. What we do is, we we say it all the time. We don't teach speakers how to speak. We don't teach authors how to write. We don't teach coaches how to coach. What we do is we help you run your speaker, author, coach business on your terms by setting it up as a portfolio type business where you blend all of those skills together. And part of that, it's obvious to us that this is an industry that lends itself to having we said it at the beginning, 1.73 billion users on Facebook every day. Your avatar is very likely to be here. I would be, you'd be hard pushed if they're not, right? And so for you to set up a Facebook group absolutely allows you to do this. And you want to hit the ground running fast, but you also want to set it up efficiently. So, I am completely biased. I know how much work we've put into this. I know how good it is. I urge you to go and actually have a look at the 4 delicious minutes of Jason Antelek actually just telling you what you get in the
What
course,
he got from the course, yeah.
because it really is um a way for you to build in the monetization of your business to a group that can be a joy for you to run. So I'm going to, have you already put the link back in there?
Sorry, in there earlier. So,
Uh,
and also just to highlight, in one of the things that holds people back isn't just the tech; it's the who am I,
yeah,
the imposter syndrome,
for
the
sure.
have I got the right leadership style? What's my personality? What are the values and the culture that I want to create in my group? So
Yeah,
if that's the thing that's holding you back, we have a whole leadership module in there, so you understand
yeah,
not only about who you are, what your values are, what you want to create, but also where the group fits in your business model, so that you can actually make sure that you're leading it with
yeah,
purpose.
yeah,
And one of the things that we get asked all the time, because we did allude to this in the content, is that I show up in a lot of people's other groups, and basically answer people's questions, and answer them with a Facebook Live that we've done. So a lot of people now will get this link
yeah,
because they've been in somebody else's group going, how do I grow my Facebook group? And I'll go, watch
yeah,
this training, and
yeah,
then they'll watch the training, and then they'll be like, oh, okay, this is great. Let me come and join the Connection Hub, right?
yeah,
Because I'm a speaker, author, coach, and I want to learn more from these people.
yeah,
So what we've also done in the online course is we've created a directory of over 200 Facebook groups
yeah,
that are specifically for speakers, authors, and coaches, ones that we hang out in. Most of them have got, well, all of them will have at least 1,000 members,
yeah,
but most of them have got 10,000 members or more. So
yeah,
when you are part of these groups and you are adding value and you are visible and you are showing up and being of service, your reach and exposure is going to increase just by being part of these groups that we've basically researched and done for you and created
yeah.
this directory.
We're saying that we really do leave no stone unturned. We want you to be deliciously successful. We want you to monetize your group, create that engagement, and actively make it easy for you. So we've done the homework for a lot of you, make it easy for you to do what we say. So we give you a lot of the resources that allow you to actually hit the ground running, because there's nothing worse than learning something in a course and then going, oh my word, now I need to go and research the groups. Well, we did that for you too.
For you, right? About the tech, we've done the research for the tech for you. You don't know how to do the tech, we've done the screen sharing.
Yeah,
Literally, people that know that have done our training before and whatever of
yeah,
our online courses or our membership program, we know that we are here to serve, and we know that we're really practical. Every video, every training has got videos, it's got handouts, it's got things that you need to do in your group straight away to make those
straight away.
immediate changes. And it's also lifetime access. So
Yeah,
don't have to do it all at once, right? You can do it bit by bit, and you've got access for the rest of your life. And that, when things change, we will update the things as well when they change from a tech point of view.
yeah,
But you're also in the Connection Hub, so you can keep on asking us questions with that
that's it.
ongoing support and from other people. So it's nearly an hour. I've put the
Yep,
link in.
yep. I'm like, Kelly, stop.
Shut up. You're watching this Tuesday, you've got till tomorrow night to use that discount code.
Yeah,
But obviously the course will be open all the way through. It's not
yeah,
a one-time offer, but the discount code will run out tomorrow night at 12 o'clock.
yeah. So we will leave you to it. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you very, very soon.